So the first thing that you want to do when you're thinking of buying your first home, you want to write down some of the things that you want. You have to write down your must-haves. So I got a piece of paper and I wrote down some of the things that I truly wanted in my house. I wanted to have a house with a den, which is kind of like a spare room, because I'm a student and I spend a lot of time studying. So I wanted to have a designated area in my house just to put all my books and all my chaos and clutter whenever I study. I wanted to have, separate from the den, I wanted to have 3 bedrooms and a 2 bathroom house. I wanted to have a lanai, an individual laundry room so we can block everything and the mess in a separate room. And I wanted to have a 2-car garage. It's important to me because I have 2 kids to have a fence yard somewhere that the kids can play. So I wrote that down too. And the location was huge, location was very big. So when I wrote down my plans that I wanted for my house, and make sure I put location on there as well. The first thing that I did after I wrote all of this stuff, I went out and I got myself a realtor. I don't even remember how I got my realtor, but she was the most amazing person that I could have found, and she was the best person for me. So I got a realtor, and I knew I have been looking extensively at homes on the computer, so I kind of knew in my mind what I wanted. Other things I kind of wrote down on my list, and this is on my actual list, but this is kind of a remake. I wanted to have a house that was stucco, so something that was a good foundation, and I wanted to have a house that was more recently built. I knew I could not get a brand new house, but I wanted something that was newer. Like when I say newer, I mean less than 20 years old, that I didn't have to worry too much about redoing a roof. And the other thing that was big for me was getting a house that I could live in. I didn't have to pay a water bill. So having well water was fine. And remember, for me, this is my first home by myself, but I also consider this home to be my transitional home. So when I first got that home and I came into this house with my realtor, it was a mess. It was a construction grade home. It appears to me like the people who lived in this house before me might have been renters. So it was very messy. The floors, the walls, the carpets, everything was a mess. And I knew I didn't have a whole lot of money. Most of my money was spent purchasing the home, meaning putting money down as a down payment so that my monthly payments would not be so high. So I put a lot of money down. So that I could have a manageable monthly payment. So that's what I did. And when I come into the house, and I would show in this channel, you will see the very first walkthrough. One of the very first walkthroughs where you would see the wall color, and you would see the carpets, and you would see the countertops, and it was just a mess. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted in my mind, the transformation, what it was going to be like. So I told the realtor, and she asked me, she said, Chrissy, do you want to look at any other homes? And I told her no. I was very satisfied with this house. Y'all, when I tell you this house matched everything on my little pad, this house matched everything. It had a good location. Yes, where I do live is on the suburban area, so it's not in the major city, but it's off of that major city, which is good for me. It's in a place no one wants to live in for some reason or the other, but I had already lived here before in that general area, and I knew where the area is generally very quiet, and I knew most people didn't want to live here, so of course the home prices were going to be a lot less. So I chose that area on purpose. I wanted to live in one of the suburb areas. Most people who are young and hip and traditional want to live in the big cities, they want to live in the fancier cities, but I chose not to on purpose, so I could have a lower monthly price, a lower home price, but still be close enough to the city that I can enjoy everything from the city. So that was my choice. And you have to use your head sometimes when you buy things, and that was me just trying to use my brain to get the best bang that I can for my buck. So I got everything on that list, you guys. When I first came into the house, it had a den. It had the 3 bedrooms. It had the 2 bathrooms. It had a lanai. It had a fence yard, not the fence that I wanted. It had a chain linked fence. But the fact that it had a fence was important to me. So I got a fence. It had a 2-car garage. It had an open living space, so the kitchen and the living room was an open floor plan, and that's exactly what I wanted. And it also had its own separate laundry room, which is very small. But yes, we were taking it, and it was important to me to have. And I didn't put it on there on my book to tell you guys, but it was important to me to have pantry. It's all my own separate pantry, my own separate laundry storage place, and this house had it all. It's not a very big home. I promise you, it's not a very big home. But when I first walked into the house, Rosa said to me, Chrissy, do you want to go look at any other homes? She said, I already looked. I went to a couple of other homes before I came here today. I've met with some of the neighbors. They were very nice. Do you want to go over to meet these people? Do you want to go over to the other homes? And I said to her, no, I am home. I am home. So she was like, okay. She says, she was mind boggled. She was like, are you sure? And I said, I am definitely sure. So I stepped into this home. It was a mess, and you'll see the video of that. And I just kind of considered this home. So getting this home was a little bit of a challenge because when I offered money for it, I had another seller, of course, with a lot more money than I. And I'm thankful for friendship because I had a coworker who's very, very smart who was telling me, Chrissy, why don't you write the seller and explain to him your situation? My situation was kind of unique because I was recently divorced and I have 2 kids, and my entire divorce was very tumultuous. It's really, really hard for me. So when I came into this home and I looked around and I saw it, it was just, for some reason, the home just kind of hugged me and comforted me. So when I explained to the seller that when I saw this home, it had everything that I wanted, the location was good, everything was just perfect. So I wrote to the seller and I kind of told him my situation, and thankfully, and I just thank God that he was moved and he accepted my offer, even though it was lower than the other bidders. But so this home is mine. I got straight into painting, cleaning, and it was really hard at first. And people, don't get discouraged if you are buying a fixer-upper. I knew I did at first. I thought I had gotten something that was way over my head with the amount of work that this house entails. And you guys remember, I have nobody to help me. It's just me, myself, and my 2 kids. So when I first came in, I had a lot of painting to do. To me, it felt very overwhelming. There were major changes I knew in my head I wanted to have done. Like the counters were going to be the first thing I needed to attack. I needed to get rid of all the plastic countertops. I'm not sure they're even real wood. They're like really soft wood. The top is some manufactured countertops that I knew I hated, and that had to go. So I went, got my little sledgehammer, and I just broke all the countertops down in the bathrooms. And here in the kitchen, I had to ask my coworkers how would I attack it, because my coworkers are a lot, of course, more knowledgeable than I was, and they were able to give me ideas on how to do that. So I did countertops had to go, and I had to break down the bar. In the kitchen had a very tall bar counter that overlooks the living room, and I wanted to get it down to make it surface with all the other countertops, because I wanted to make it a wide eating social area for my children to sit at the counter and have their dinners. And so I had some trouble with that, so I had a family member came over to help me break that part down, and I got everything ready and cleaned off and tossed by the street for the trash people, and the trash people took all the old counters away. The sinks had to go, everything was put by the street. And with my limited income, I went to get granite countertops because I wanted to get granite countertops. So I went to this place, a couple of places that I went to. The first place I was excited about them, but then it didn't end up working out. So I was just Googling, and I found a second place in Fort Myers. This is where I live, of course, in Fort Myers, and you'll hear me mention that from time to time. Second place that I went to, they had discounted countertops, and they just worked out to be the best place. And I got all my kitchen countertops done from this place, and I loved it. I knew what I wanted, my color. When I started fresh, when I was freshly divorced, when I started everything over, I was going to be doing everything in gray and white. So gray and white seems clean and sleek, and that's what I know I needed. So everything has to be in gray and white. So when I first saw the countertops, it's the first thing I saw. And it was gray and white and had some flecks of sparkle in them. And I know I'm all sparkles. I'm a sparkle girl. So I had to get those countertops, and that's what I did. So my countertops will typically later, but they're all gray and white, and they have speckles in them. So let's talk about my kitchen, because my kitchen will be the first place I will discuss. The kitchen cabinets were already white. They're not the best. They're almost like a plastic white, but I knew I was going to keep those and just wipe down their surfaces and clean them. And I cleaned everything with bleach, and everything was just wiped down. And the old knobs, they had some round plastic knobs on the kitchen cabinets. I removed those and I had to buy some from the Home Depot, and I put my own knobs. And oh yeah, that's what was here originally. So that's what I kept. I kept those on the bottom. I changed the top ones to make it match the silver theme I wanted. I also went down to the big box store. I went to, I think, Lowe's and Home Depot to look at appliances, because when this house came, there were no appliances. I had to get everything, and I ordered the first set of appliances, and then something happened, and I couldn't get those for some reason. So they had to call me and tell me that I don't know if it wasn't in stock or whatever it was, and I had to go with what I hated, and I had to go with stainless steel appliances. So I chose stainless steel refrigerator and stainless steel microwave and stove. I still do not have a dishwasher, so you will see the dishwasher spot in my kitchen is used for storing things like cookers, because my home is small, you guys. It's a small home, but I'm making it work. So a lot of the things that I got in my house, I think the only thing I bought brand new, it really, truly, could just be the appliances that I got in the kitchen. And this is my kitchen tour. And I end up liking the fridge, you guys. Although it's a lot of work to keep it clean, because I have those I have a toddler, and then I have a young son, so the little hands are always touching stuff. But it's just me and my kids, and it's an easy clean. So the next thing that I do, and I'm hidden that this video is long, I got this table. I knew in the back of my head I wanted a counter height table and chairs, and I got this table. It's small. It's just for me and my kiddos, and I am enjoying it because it's just a 4-chair table, and so it sits here in my dining room, very small space. I have to confess, you guys know this house, I wish to tell you, is a house that's all bargains. So all the plumbing, I pretty much did my plumbing myself, and electricity and a lot of things. But so this is my sink. I got my sink that I got. The sink came with the countertops. The faucet I had to buy, so I bought that on Amazon. It was really economical. I think we were having $40, which is cheap. You guys, if you guys are looking for a sink, please check Amazon. The big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's were a lot more expensive, so I got something that was simple and just a faucet from Amazon, and I kind of installed it myself. So this is all about the kitchen. The kitchen is the first thing we're discussing in this video, because I don't want this video to be too long. So this is my kitchen tour, and I'm gonna get out of the way so you can see what the kitchen looks like. Thank you for listening. So always remember that you can do the impossible, you can do the hard stuff if you just kind of put your mind to it and take courage. If you did buy a fixer-upper home and you think, oh my God, there's no way I can do this, there's no way I can make this house or home, you can, because I did. And remember, it's just me. I don't have any brothers to help me. I don't have any father, mother, sister, cousins, no one to help me. But I was able to do it by myself. I did my plumbing, I did my electricity, and a lot of things in the kitchen were already there in terms of electricity, so I don't have to touch electricity in the kitchen per se. I will talk about those in the other rooms. So I and some of the things I got for my countertops, and I just want to tell you guys, if you guys are also thinking of home decor, one of the things I like are clear surfaces. I think it gives a cleaner look. And in this video, there's not much for clear surfaces because I have a lot of stuff on the countertops that I don't normally have. But a big tip, if you're cleaning, try to keep all your counter surfaces completely cleared. You can have a couple of decor pieces. You can use some of your kitchen appliances as decor pieces to stand out. So that's a home tip that you can use. But if you want a nice clean magazine image home, just remember surfaces have to be cleared, all clutter. And you can put a few pieces that is meaningful to you or that describes who you are to stand out as accent pieces. And that's something that I did learn, and I would kind of share that with you. Before, I would put like all the big appliances that I own, like mixers, and I mean, yes, they're nice mixers, but my home is very small, so I had to put those completely away and just keep small things on the counter that I can actually get rid of, really, to make it seem a lot more sleek. So thank you for listening to me and talking about how I got my home, some of the things that you would need if you're buying a home, and how to achieve your dream, and how to kind of get through the hard stuff. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.